Okay, I know this lesson is going to be a little bit challenging because I know some of you are still kind of uncomfortable with solving equations with whole numbers. Well, now we're solving equations with fractions. So I think what I'm going to do is just maybe, I don't know, we'll see how far we get. If I get through the whole lesson, great, but if I don't, that'll be fine too. And you guys just take notes on whatever we have here, okay? So we're starting off right away with example 1. Make sure you get the objective down. Okay, and the example 1, solving an addition equation with rational numbers now. Now we're using fractions. So we have x plus 3/4 equals 7/8. Okay, if you're not sure what to do here, let's change the numbers and see what you would do. All right, so if I had x plus, I'm going to change this 3/4 to 1, just simple numbers. And I'm going to change this 7/8 to 5. They're simple numbers. So what is this one saying? This one is saying, what number do I add to 1 and get a total of 5? Okay, some of you might have said, well, what number plus 1 is 5? I'm pretty sure it's 4. 4 plus 1 is 5. And you would be right, 4 plus 1 is 5. Now, you don't have to write this down. This I want you just to listen to this part. Okay? Now, how did you get this 4? Now let's look at it. What could I have done with this 1 and this 5 to get 4? I probably subtracted, because 5 minus 1 is 4. That's right, you probably subtracted. That's exactly what you did. So in the equation, x plus 1 equals 5, we subtract 1 from this side, we subtract 1 from this side. Over here, I just have x, and 5 minus 1 is 4, so x equals 4. So yeah, this is right, x equals 4. You're going to do the same strategy over here with this fraction. Same strategy. So if I subtracted 1 from both sides on this problem, I'm going to subtract 3/4 from both sides on this problem. So we're going to subtract 3/4 from one side. So we have x plus 3/4 minus 3/4, subtract that, equals, here's our 7/8 that we already had, and we're going to subtract 3/4 from here too. Well, what's 3/4 minus 3/4? So if I'm looking at this, 3/4 minus 3/4, this part right here, let's just focus on that, is 0. Nothing. 3/4 minus 3/4 is 0. So I have x by itself now. Now, what's 7/8 minus 3/4? Now we're going to focus on this side. 7/8 minus 3/4, because this is subtraction, I first have to get a common denominator. So what is a common denominator I can use for 8 and 4? For 8 and 4. Okay? Let's use 8. So I'm going to leave 7/8 alone. It's going to stay the same. To change 4 to 8, though, I need to multiply by 2. Then I need to multiply by 2 on the top 2. What's 3 times 2? 6. And 4 times 2? 8. That's where I got this 6/8. Now I can subtract them. To subtract, we just subtract numerators. 7 minus 6. 7 minus 6 is 1. I use the same denominator when I'm subtracting, 8. So our answer is 1/8. X equals 1/8. And if I were you, I would write this down too to show that I multiplied on both the numerator and denominator, to show that I found a common denominator when I'm adding. Okay? Next one. Sorry. Y minus 1/3 equals 4/5. So again, just like if they were whole numbers, what is the opposite of, sorry, let me just put this up here for you guys. What's the opposite of a subtraction? Because we have subtraction here, what's the opposite of subtraction? And that would be addition. So we're going to add 1/3. So if I add 1/3 to the left side of the equal sign, I have to add 1/3 to the right side of the equal sign. In order to add these, they don't have a common denominator. 5 and 3 are different denominators. So I have to make a common denominator. Okay? What number is a multiple of both 5 and 3? In other words, when I count by 5, I say this number. When I count by 3, I say the same number. 15. 5, 10, 15. Yeah, I say 15. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Yes, I say 15. So we're going to use 15 as our common denominator. Okay? This is already done for you here, but I'm just going to write, I'll write in a different color so you can see these. I'll write in green. What did I do here to get 15? I multiplied by 3, so what do I have to do here? Multiply by 3, same number. What's 4 times 3? 12. That's where this 12 came from. And 5 times 3 is 15. There's our denominator. Now, what do I multiply by 3 to get 15? 5. 3 times 5 is 15, and 1 times 5 is 5. So this is how I got the new set of fractions, 12 fifteenths and 5 fifteenths. Okay? Now I can add them. 12 plus 5 is 17. So I get 17 fifteenths, or if you want to change it to a mixed number, 1 and 2 fifteenths. For those of you still confused about how I got from here to here, I'll just show you over here the division. 15 goes into 17 one time. And then I subtract. 7 minus 5 is 2. 2 is my remainder. So I have 1 whole, 15 goes into 17 one whole time, and 2 left over, and the denominator doesn't change, still 15. So 1 and 2 fifteenths. Okay? 2/3 multiplication now. 2/3 times m equals 5/8. If I'm multiplying m times 2/3, in order to get rid of it, I have to divide by 2/3. Well, if I divide on one side of the equal side by 2/3, I have to divide on the other side by 2/3. So, again, you're writing this. This is example 3, multiplication. Okay? So, how do we divide fractions? We multiply the reciprocal. So what's the reciprocal of 2/3? 3 over 2. So instead of dividing, we're going to multiply by 3 over 2. Then we have to multiply on this side also by 3 over 2. We have to do the same thing on both sides. Okay? 3 over 2 times 2 over 3 is 6 over 6, which is the same as 1. And 1 times m is the same as just m by itself. So we have m by itself on the left. 5 times 3 is 15. I'm here. Multiplying 5 times 3 is 15. So we get 15. 8 times 2 is 16. So we get 15 sixteenths. And that's our answer. Solving a two-step, let's skip this for now. I don't want to do solving 2 steps. So we're going to skip that. Skip, skip, skip. And we're just going to go right into our guided practice now. So x plus 3/4 equals 6. What's the opposite of addition? Subtraction. So if I subtract 3/4, I'm doing it in a different color just so that you can see it. If I subtract 3/4 from here, then I also have to subtract 3/4 from here, minus 3/4. Okay? Subtracting 3/4 from here, 3/4 minus 3/4 is 0, so I get x by itself. And now 6 minus 3/4. 6 over 1 minus 3 over 4. I need to change my denominator so they're the same. So I'm going to change 6 over 1. I wanted to have a denominator of 4, so I'm going to multiply by 4. Then I have to multiply by 4 here as well. So 6 times 4 is 24. 1 times 4 is 4. Minus 3/4. 24 minus 3 is 21. And we have a denominator of 4 that doesn't change with addition and subtraction. 21 over 4. Or I divide it to change it into a mixed number. So I'm going to divide 4 into 21. 4 goes into 21 5 times. 5 times 4 is 20. When I subtract, I have a remainder of 1. So 5 whole, 1 left over, and the denominator stays the same. It's 4, so this is also going to be 4. So 21 over 4 is the same as 5 whole and 1/4. Okay. Number 2, y minus 5/8 equals 6½ This time I have subtraction. So I need to use addition to get rid of this subtraction. So I'm going to add 5/8. If I add 5/8 there, then I also have to add 5/8 here. Minus 5/8 plus 5/8 is 0. So I have y by itself. 6½ I have to change this first to an improper fraction. I don't have to actually, but it's easier if I do. 2 times 6 is 12. 12 plus 1 is 13. So we have 13/2 plus 5/8. I want them both to have the same denominator. So I'm going to use 8 as my denominator, so I can multiply by 4 to make it 8. Multiply by 4 here. 13 times 4 is 52. And 2 times 4 is 8. And we're adding 5/8 to it. 52 plus 5 is 57 over 8. Or, if I want to change this into a mixed number, I divide 8 into 57. 7 times is 56. Subtract, 1 left over. So it goes into 57 7 times. 1 is my remainder. And I use the same denominator that I have here of 8. Here. 7 1/8. One-third z equals 5/8. This is multiplication. So I need to divide by 1/3. If I divide one side by 1/3, so 1/3 z divided by 1/3, then I have to do the same thing to the other side, divide by 1/3. How do I divide fractions? I multiply the reciprocal. So 1/3 z multiplied by 3 over 1 equals 5/8 multiplied by 3 over 1. Multiply the reciprocal. 1/3 z times 3 over 1 is z by itself now, because 1/3 times 3 over 1 is 3 over 3, which is the same as 1 whole. So you can put 1z if you want, but you don't need to, it's just z. 5 times 3 is 15. 8 times 1 is 8. 15 over 8. Or 8 goes into 15 one time. I have 7 left over. And my denominator is 8, so my denominator is 8. 1 7/8. And we're not doing 2-step yet, so we're going to skip that one. And skip that one. And we're done. Thank you. You guys have a nice evening. Weekend, I should say. And I'll see you on Monday.